manhunt for precious Ohio 4-year-old Haylee Donathan. She is on the run with her mom and her mom's Tier 3 sex offender boyfriend, Robbie Potter. He escaped from a halfway house tonight. A possible break in the case, even as the child's family desperately pleads for her safe return.
I'm scared something's happened to him. I don't know what. I don't know if he's hurt my granddaughter or if he's hurt them both or what. I'm just scared.
The trio's truck has been spotted all the way in Colorado. U.S. Marshals released brand new photos of the 1988 Chevy pickup at a Colorado gas station more than 1,000 miles away from their hometown in Ohio. The surveillance camera even snapped a shot of Haylee's mom, Candace Watson, putting gas into the truck. But unfortunately, U.S. Marshals were not able to confirm that little Haylee was indeed inside the truck at that time. The new pictures were taken June 2nd, just 2 days after the truck was last seen at an Ohio Walmart. If this fleeing trio made it all the way to Colorado from Ohio in just 2 days, where could they be now? And what does this video tell us about the mom's state of mind? Is she there of her own free will? Or is she being held hostage? Straight to my fantastic expert panel. Robin Bond, attorney and former prosecutor. Michael Cardoza, former prosecutor and criminal defense attorney. Curtis Sliwa, founder of the Guardian Angels. And by phone, U.S. Marshal Brian Fitzgibbon, the lead investigator on this case. Marshal, are you surprised that with all the national media attention, we've been talking about this and the release of videos like this, Colorado sighting, these people have yet to be spotted?
It's alarming. I mean, we received over 200 phone calls from our tip line in the past 4 or 5 days. We're exhausted. We're talking to people that are concerned. The citizens across the country. This is a heartbreaking story. They want to help. We can't catch a break right now. They didn't disappear. They didn't fall off the face of the earth. They're somewhere.
Now, is there an incentive for this mom? Let's say, for example, she might be watching right now, to turn herself in now. Would her penalties or possible prison sentence, what could happen to her in the justice system, be a lot less if she came forward now than if she waited?
Absolutely. If she takes the route of turning herself in, it could do nothing but help herself out. We would even encourage her to call our tip line or call her mother or call somebody close saying, I'm okay, Haley's okay. We need to hear something. We haven't heard anything from them in over 2 weeks, and their welfare at this point is just making everybody an emotional wreck that's surrounded by both families.
Yeah, now she used to live in Arizona. There's speculation that she might be headed there as well with this Tier 3 sex offender boyfriend and her child. What are you doing? I mean, there's so many states. This is a needle in a haystack situation. How are you focusing in?
We're trying to focus. Obviously, we tracked back to where she used to live, spoke to some of her close friends. Everyone's saying, listen, we haven't heard from her. She's not reaching out to us. Now, she's had history where she's gone out west and she hasn't spoke to anybody. But this is national news. This is making newspapers. It's making CNN news. Got to hear about it.
Obviously, yeah, the biggest concern is for the child. Is there any, I know you have to be very careful with what you say, but obviously you originally believed that she, the mother, went of her own volition with this cretin and took the child with her. They were going on a camping trip, and now do you still feel that she's there of her own volition with the child, or is there any way to figure out what the emotional state of this mom and this child is right now?
There's no way of figuring out. A lot has changed. She met this man, and in 3 days she decides to run cross-country with him. For the past 2 weeks, she spent nothing but all of her time every hour in the day with him. She's got to be realizing something ain't right.
Well, let's hope. Let's hope that she's aware that the entire country is begging her, for the sake of her beautiful, precious 4-year-old child, to get away from him, if she can do that safely, God willing, and get to safety. Thank you so much, Marshal. I wish you the best of luck. I know you guys are working around the clock with no sleep to find this precious child. You know, let's take another look at the surveillance shots from the Colorado gas station. These shots were snapped on June 2nd in Stratton, Colorado. That's more than 1,000 miles away from where they started at their hometown in Ohio. They managed to travel very far in a very short period of time. Now, just 2 days earlier, the mom was spotted at a Walmart in Ohio where she appeared to change clothes in a bathroom. So 2 sightings in 2 days, thousands of miles apart. but since then they've been totally off the radar. So, Michael Cardozo, you've covered so many of these cases. Do you get a sense that they wised up to the national manhunt, realized they couldn't afford to be seen, and have either switched cars or they're still in Colorado because you can only drive so far without gas?
Well, certainly if she hasn't, he has. I mean, he apparently has some criminal smarts, if there is such a thing, and he appears to be taking the back roads and avoiding any contact with the public, but for the necessities of life.
You know, only one shot shows Haylee's mom, Candace Watson, actually putting gas into the trunk. Investigators won't say how she paid for this gas and how it factors into their search for little Haylee. But, Curtis, isn't it safe to say that the trio obviously needs money to survive during this time, okay? So would it be a safe guess to assume that she used a credit card and cops traced that credit card to this gas station where they then found this video, as opposed to randomly finding this video?
Oh, Jane, no doubt. That's exactly it. And that's generally what causes people on the lam to get bagged and tagged. The old credit card, for her sake, she should have hoped that that credit card number bounced. You know, when you keep pressing your number in, it doesn't seem to work. But thank God it did register, and now they're on their case. But can you believe this, Mother? To actually participate in this, it's not a Stockholm syndrome. She's not Tanya Patty Hearst, you know, under there because she's been brainwashed. She's willingly there with a Tier 3 sex offender who has fled with her and her child.
Well, listen, extremely bad judgment in going off in the first place, but Robin Bond, former prosecutor, at some point, she could have realized that this was an awful situation. You know, remember, they originally were going camping, and she actually returned the tent that they may have used. She might have at some point realized, oh my gosh, this guy is dangerous. I need to get out of here, and become a hostage. So how do prosecutors deal with that? Let's say they're all found, God willing, alive and okay.
Well, I think that one of the things they're looking at, and we've had this commentary before, is her conduct on the videotape, the surveillance tape. Does she appear to be walking with confidence, which she has, or does she appear to be having furtive glances and trying to escape? That has not been apparent thus far in this case. But as a prosecutor, you want to encourage this woman to come in and bring the child back, because, you know, you care as much about a reward for the safe return of the child as you do for the apprehending Robbie Potter. And so I would not be focusing on charging her. I would be focusing on incentivizing her in some way to come back in, bring the child back in, and then, you know, help us better understand what has really occurred here.
All right, so if you're watching, I want to send a special message out to this man, this Tier 3 sex offender. Let this mother and child go. Let them go and go on your way and take your chances, but don't take it with the lives of these two mother, child, two females who have nothing to do with your mess. Please let them go. I want to thank my excellent panel. NFL star Dante Stallworth only gets 1 month